Hi, I'm Hina Siddiqui, and you are listening to the Corporate Life Podcast. We are in season 3, where every life is a movie and you are the star of yours. So step into the spotlight, the world is watching. My guest today is none other than Dr. Marissa Pei, affectionately known as Asian Oprah. From interviewing Hollywood stars like Halle Berry to standing on stages around the world, Dr. Marissa made happiness her life's work, not as a buzzword, but as a daily practice. She is an organizational psychologist, host of a 13-year-old award-winning show, Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, TV host, speaker, filmmaker, and best selling author whose mission is simple yet revolutionary: make happiness a habit. In this episode, we go behind the red carpets and the headlines to explore what it really means to stay grounded, grateful, and gracefully human, even when the spotlight burns bright. Dr. Marisa, your show title made me smile. Take my advice, I'm not using it. And now I'm curious, why are you not using your own advice?
Well, I love to laugh. It's my favorite sound in the world. So the title is meant to do that, is to make you laugh. And, they do say that if what is a teacher, someone who teaches but doesn't necessarily do or practice their own advice. So is it a little attempt to be funny? I do practice my own advice about 88% of the time. 12% of the time I step in it. But I think that is also one of the great things about personal mastery, knowing that you're not perfect, that you will never be perfect. And so when you are not perfect, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You don't have to hide and sweep all the mistakes under the rug. You can be okay. You're just human. Most of the time, I get it right. But 12% of the time, I'm giving myself some slack, or BOD, benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And then we actually open up some room for other people's advice also. There are people who love us, who we would like to look up to for advice, and perhaps we can leave that space for other people to step in and give us some spice advice probably.
I have a rule that when people you haven't asked for advice for, or even if you have, if you hear the same message 3 times from 3 different people, it is something that you want to pay attention to. And it's not something to change you. I do a lot of executive coaching and people don't like getting feedback, right? Somebody will say to you, can I give you some feedback? And you're like, okay, but don't get it all over me. But when people give you that advice, you can look at, this is not trying to change me from who I am, but it is feedback. The feedback is actually information about them. They're saying, to make it easier for us to connect, this is what I'd like you to do. And then you have the choice. If you want to connect with them, you know how to better connect with them. If you don't want to connect with them, then you can push their buttons and do what they're asking you not to do. So it's a tricky thing. Not all advice is, you have people around the world now who walk around thinking, or have a BS, a belief system, everybody has the right to my opinion. I'm going to tell you what I think. I have to be honest. I have to be brutally honest. I have to tell you what's on my mind. And that's bullshitaki. No one needs to be walking around spewing what they think, right? There's a time and a place. There's people who love giving advice. And for those people, I have a little rule that I instill for myself is I only give advice if I'm being paid for it.
Yeah, I love that. Exactly. The unpaid advice is never valued.
And it wastes time. And this is I do talks on, getting back time, because time is our most valuable resource. It's a non-renewable energy.
Very finite.
Once it's gone, no do-over, singular, nothing like that. So the easiest way to have at least a half an hour more time a day is to stop giving advice to those who call you and you give the same advice to every single time and they don't follow it. So I guarantee you everybody has a person like that in their life. And it's frustrating So you're going to gain back some time by saying, darling, if anything's changed from the last time you applied what I asked you to do to change your situation, we can talk. But for now, this is the same thing that I heard yesterday or last week, and I love you, and I'm going to let you figure this one out.
Yeah, and I love that what all you're talking about. It happens a lot. There are people who keep giving us advices, and in fact, I have been the person who was giving free advices to people, you know. That's not the case anymore. Of course, when you are expensive, you would not like to give free advices to people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Dr. Marissa, you have been a filmmaker, storyteller, and psychologist, and you have told stories in so many ways through films, radio, and comedy. But what's your story? I'm just curious.
Well, actually, that's all that story is in my book. So you mentioned everything, which was great, the stand up, the speaking, the show on radio, TV, but the book actually captures my story. 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are sounds like a psychologist telling you how to be happy, when in effect, it is a book that captures my own personal experience as 7 out of 10 of us who have had childhood trauma. Now, I tell you this statistic for a number of reasons. One is, yes, I am one of those. And it is true. You know, they say psychologists are people who are so effed up that they, try to figure it out what it is by becoming a coach and a therapist themselves. However, and that is true for a large part, not everybody, but for a large part. But the most important thing about this book, which I'm so grateful it went national bestseller #1 Amazon, is because it's helped people take the journey with me that I went through because I had childhood trauma, and thank God and thank Oprah, who's my honorable moniker. I'm known as the Asian Oprah. I was introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah.
That's
and
very
I credit
interesting.
her with bringing the whole conversation about am I happy and mental health into the forefront. So what I've taken that is next level of, I'm personally, she was also childhood trauma. I'm childhood trauma. 7 out of 10 of us, that's the majority.
That's the
And yet,
majority, exactly. I
why
resonate with that too.
like, why do we think as the majority that there's something wrong with us? Usually majority rules. So that must mean that pain in life has a role.
Yes.
That childhood trauma has a role in chiseling us into magnificent superpower heroes who not overcome, they work through the pain, right? And into power. And that journey is what makes us into exceptional.
Absolutely.
So instead of seeing us as one down, we're never going to catch up. We didn't have a loving parents. We didn't have an idyllic childhood. Bad things happened. Folks, the book, Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People, sets up an expectation or a BS, a belief system that bad things shouldn't happen in life. And that is so hurtful for any human being walking through life, because whenever something bad happens, they either think they're getting punished or they think there's something wrong with them. And it's so far from the truth, because bad things happen to everybody. There's not one person that is untouched, but what is bad is not really bad. It's just something, and you're not even being taught a lesson. Well, I need to learn that lesson. That's also a very sad and angry place to be. But if I can see everything that I don't like in my life as a tool to help chisel me into my magnificence, into one of a kind, wonderful, into a quality, a gift, or ability that I can now use to enhance my life first, and then your life, right? If you ask for it or pay for it, then life is fabulous and wonderful, because pain in life is mandatory, but suffering from it is optional.
Yeah, I
And
totally
that's
agree with
what I
that.
do.
Yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. It happens like I'm saying it for the first time ever on any of my podcast episodes. It's like I have been trauma like in childhood, as in that childhood abuse. And then I kept on hating myself until I very recently. I just kept on hating myself. I kept on treating myself like trash. And until I understood that this happened for a reason, it just happened to make me the way I am today. And in the absence of that, I would never be that powerful person that I am today. So, yes. And I actually gave big thanks to the trauma. And I felt so grateful for that. And it's so beautiful that what you're talking about it.
It's a choice. You
Yeah.
can choose to see what happened to you as something that shouldn't have happened, as something that you can blame someone for, as something that was so wrong and it shouldn't have
Yeah.
happened. You can choose to do that. I did that for years. And
Yeah.
it is the go to way that most people react to it, right? And I'm here to say that as a kid, whatever you went through was not your fault. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not your
Exactly. Yeah.
responsibility. It was nothing that you did to deserve that.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's just put that moose on the table. I use that expression because I was born in Canada. So instead of saying, let's talk about the elephant in the room, I
Hmm.
say, let's put the moose on the table and just bottom line, folks, if you had childhood trauma, it was not your fault. However, it is your responsibility to work through that so that you're not dragging it into your present
Hmm.
and spewing it into your future.
Yeah.
That, my friends, is your responsibility, your choice. You
Yeah.
can certainly, you have every right to be angry and justifiably angry and righteous indignation. You can do that for the rest of your life. You have every right to do that, but you're not
Yes.
going to have a very happy life. Instead, if you can say, yeah, maybe I would be the person I am without the trauma, maybe not, who knows? But I choose to see what happened as something that chiseled me into greater and greater good. That's the choice. That's
That's a
personal
choice.
mastery.
Yeah. That's the
Yes. If
choice.
you make
And
that choice, I guarantee you're going to have a happier life.
yeah.
Every day is an opportunity to live, love, laugh, learn, create, innovate, hug, hold, laugh. That's your choice.
Yeah.
You have every reason to be in a state of piss offedness for the rest of your life. But if you choose to do that, do not complain about why you're not happy.
Yeah, yeah. And this is the key message for today. I guess we are talking about it. And this is so beautiful that I totally agree with you that I think 95%, I'm just exaggerating maybe, but I think majority of the people as kids go through the childhood abuse or trauma and nobody is immune to that. But then it's our responsibility to turn that pain into power, and it would not happen for no reason, like it just happened for some reason. This is
Yeah.
beautiful. Dr. Marissa, would you like to talk a bit about your professional life, your professional story?
Well, that is my professional life. I have 8 jobs. That message came 16, almost 17 years ago. My doctorate, my PhD, is actually in organizational psychology, which is a merging of business and psychology. So, human dynamics at work, power, politics,
Yeah.
miscommunication, conflict. And so I got my PhD, went to Europe, and my specialty was in change management. So I worked with Exxon Chemical for 2 years, did some work for AT&T International, did some work for, I began teaching actually grad school for Boston University. They have a campus in Brussels, Belgium. And then I missed the sun because it's like London weather. And so I came back to the States and into sunny California and then began to teach. I was a graduate professor at UCLA in the MBA school. I taught there for 6 years. And then a student came up to me after class and said, Dr. Marissa, your talents are being wasted.
Mm.
I taught like Goodwill Hunting. I'm very animated. As you can tell, I'm very
Yeah.
shy. Sarcasm is another service I offer. So I was very, I love to teach. I didn't like,
Mm.
the syllabus and all that and paperwork and grading papers, hated that. But he said, you belong on camera. And my father's a producer, and he's looking for people who can be expert commentators on different specials. And that's how I began in front of the camera, into media. I was on Totally Out of Control People on ABC. I was on Busted on the Job on Fox, and then Learning Channel and all of that. So that began my media. And then I woke up one morning and the voice said radio. And I'm like, radio? Why would I do radio? Radio. So I sat down, came up with the title of the show, Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And wrote, format of the show, the business plan. And now 702 consecutive weeks later, I'm still on the air. I just finished a show, which is why we couldn't start. We wanted to. I'm doing a podcast show number 1,500 next Tuesday. And my special guest is Michael Learned, who's a beautiful actress. She was the mother on the Waltons, if you remember that show. And then she was the grandmother of Jeffrey Dahmer on the Netflix special that hit 1 billion views. So she's my special guest to celebrate 1,500 podcast shows.
Amazing.
My YouTube TV channel has now over 4.1 million impressions. In a million years, I didn't think that would ever happen. In fact, people told me if I don't talk about the headlines, because my show, I do not talk about headlines, no politics, no religion, no Kardashian talk. And people were like, how the heck, what are you going to talk about? And this is the BS, the belief system that's a problem for America, is that if it bleeds, it leads. And we got to talk about things that we cannot control. We got to talk about what we don't like, what we are angry about, what we're afraid of. And I didn't want to do that. So I'm grateful to say that almost 14 years now, I was doing podcasts before they called them podcasts. So I am super grateful that I'm still here, that I'm still doing 5 days a week live on my YouTube TV channel. So you can free subscribe and give me the finger. This one, not the other one. You just Google, my assistant Google, you just put in Asian Oprah or Dr. Marissa and you can free subscribe and I'll see you there.
Right. And I'm curious to know that the story behind Asian Oprah.
Yes. So I was actually called the Asian Oprah when I won in 2012, I believe, the Asian Entrepreneur of the Year Award or the Asian Heritage Award. I can't remember which one, but I've been very blessed to get a lot of different awards. My last one was a Lifetime Achievement Award from a beautiful organization, OSD. But when I was brought up on stage to collect my award, the banner said, Asian Oprah. And I went, way too big shoes to step into. And then several years later, my big brother, who taught me that exact key to open the lock to the cage I put myself in, right, is a good friend of Oprah's. And he was on Super Soul Sunday, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. So he is a friend of Oprah's. Oprah listens to him on her podcast when she's listening in the car. And he introduced me to Oprah and said, this is Asian Oprah. And she smiled. She looked down at my pants and looked at me and said, nice pants. And it took everything for me not to say, do you want them? And people say now, that was quite a few years ago. You don't need to call yourself Asian Oprah because you're Dr. Marissa. Everybody knows you. I was in Australia and people recognized me. My interview with Halle Berry and John Travolta in New Zealand. I was so touched when I met someone randomly, #accidentally, not accidentally, who said that the number one life coach in New Zealand refers people to me and to listen to the show. So, I just got chills. So yes, it's true. I am Dr. Marissa. I don't need to say Asian Oprah. However, when I'm on the red carpet and I have an interview with Halle Berry, if I say, hi, I'm Dr. Marissa, I have some questions for you, it'll be a good interview. I'm not saying it's not good. But if I say, like I did, and you can get her interview on my red carpet playlist on my YouTube TV channel, when I said to her, hi, I'm Dr. Marissa, you know me as the Asian Oprah. She laughs. And then it's a total totally different interview.
Yeah.
So, for those who are well-meaning in saying don't use that anymore, sometimes they come off as more mean than well, but I do it because it's respectful. Like,
Yeah.
I really do credit her with really bringing this very important conversation about yourself and the way
Yes.
you love yourself. I'm glad that you said you hated yourself. When I was in the Philippines being interviewed by Karen Davila, who's known as the Philippine Oprah, and on ABS-CBN, the number one TV used to be before the craziness with that leader, she asked me what was the number one problem for people. And I said, they hate themselves. And she goes, oh, that's a little hard. I don't think so. And I said, every time I speak on stage and I ask my audience, thousands, whatever, 100,000, and I say, raise your hand if you say to yourself, I'm my own worst critic, no one's harder on me than myself, right? 99 compliments and one insult. And I focus not on the 99 compliments, but the one insult, right?
Yeah.
Do you hate yourself or do you love yourself? And she's like, oh, wow, I get it. I do that to myself. And so that's been my work. Is there's so many people who are not as happy as they could be because they're perfectionist. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when. Well, when is when? You can be happy right now if you have personal mastery. Now, what's that distinction? I'm glad you asked. No, I taught this class. UCLA brought me back last year to teach a class on leadership success and happiness because the book did so well. And people grow up believing that you'll be happy if you have professional mastery, money, a reputation, right? Achievements. That's how you become happy.
Yeah.
Big house, nice car, beautiful wife, husband, kids, partner. That's happiness. That's professional mastery.
Yeah.
My BS, my belief system, and my message that I get to do for the rest of my life, which is part of my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years.
That's amazing.
Is this. You can have professional mastery, but if you still have that voice in your head that says, well, you haven't done anything lately, or they don't really know you, or if they knew what you did in the past, or I don't, bang, 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 you should have said this, you shouldn't have said that, you're shitting on yourself. That is lack of personal mastery. You're allowing the critic drive your life car over a cliff.
Yeah,
right?
giving your
Or
power to somebody else.
self-sabotage. You have a brat that is self-sabotage. I don't want to apologize. What do you mean I can't have that Krispy Kreme? Those are the characters in your life that are usually coping mechanisms in the childhood trauma that have taken your life and derailed it. That is lack of personal mastery. So that no matter how good you have it, you cannot be happy. Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, Robin Williams, the list goes on. People who should have been happy, who had professional mastery, but were not in personal mastery. Fear of failure, fear of success. So that's why I'm on this mission, that to teach this and to know, first of all, to know this. Do you know how one of a kind wonderful you are? Like, you went through this process, but how many people really know that they are one of a kind wonderful? They're loving, lovable, loved. They're wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness, as all 8 billion of us are. That is just our birthright. We are special. We are all that. We don't have to worry about someone hurting us or taking things away or insulting us, because we bake our own cake. We're great cake. Compliments and insult are just the icing. But we have to own who we are and the magnificence of who we are, because you can't get that from anybody else. And what the problem is that when you grow up with childhood trauma, you're always looking for love in all the wrong places.
Mm.
You've got your antenna up going, who likes me? Right? Who loves me? Social media. How many numbers like me
Yeah, yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah.
And what a horrible way to live. Because
It's a
somebody can like you
horrible way
one
to
day
live.
and
Yeah.
then they're going to hate you the next day.
Yeah, yeah. It's just about self-worth. When we don't respect ourselves, then of course nobody will respect us back, because the inner world, like the outer world, is a reflection of our inner world. And then we would not
Absolutely.
respect ourselves. We will keep on humiliating ourselves. So why would not other people do that?
If you can't approve of yourself,
Yeah,
how the fork do you expect other people to approve of
exactly.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And it's interesting to hear this from you about the happiness. And you have written a book on happiness. I would like to say that everything we do is to keep us happy, to make us happy. And in the whole process, we lose our happiness. This is so ironical, isn't it?
Yes. If you go on my YouTube TV channel, you'll see two things. One is my Happy 88 mission, and it talks about I'll be happy when.
Yeah, yeah.
And the teaching of Abraham Hicks' law of attraction is if you think about everything you think is going to make you happy, that really nice car, that really nice house, that really great outfit, how long is the shelf life of that thing that you
Yeah.
think is going to make you happy, right? Your outfit, you'll be happy when you buy it, put it on that first day, and then it goes in your closet.
Yes.
And right. And then your car is a little longer, maybe the first month until you get the first ding or
Yeah.
whatever. Your house, maybe a year before you have to start putting money into fixing it, right? So everything has this shelf life on when you're going to have the happiness and how long it's going to last. Wouldn't it be great if you could have happiness before you get that? Because honestly, why are you getting that? Because you think it'll make you happy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
You
that's
can't be
the
happy
big
even now.
secret. You
Yeah.
can be happy on the way to getting it. You can be
Yeah.
happy right now. You can look at things that you do like versus looking at things that you don't like. But our society has made a habit and a job and a skill to be pissed off,
Yeah.
right? You start off in the headlines. If it bleeds, it leads. It's guaranteed to make you pissed off. It's guaranteed to make you afraid. And so we focus on things that we don't like. And then we get angry about it. And then we call people about it. And then we blog about it. And then we,
Yeah.
respond on social of it. We're doing that to ourselves. Nobody puts a gun to your head to start your day by picking up your smart thing
Yeah.
and start doing this. This is called MS,
Yeah, yeah.
meaningless scrolling. Click, 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 click. What at the end of the hour, what have you done? You have a bunch of information that either ticks you off, or if you look at cute puppies, you're like, oh, so an hour of what? You neglected your kids. You could have spent that hour being creative. I call it Google Play. My version, Dr. Marissa's Google Play, is you go online and you just sit and breathe. And then whatever keyword comes to your mind, you play with it. You put it in, see where it takes you. The thing about AI that is so ridiculous, the fear that's going on right now is that we are so fortunate to have at our fingertips. Yes, there's false news. Yes, there's bad stuff. But hey, you want to know what you're about? What have you been putting out there? If you put into Google Play, I put in Dr. Marissa Pei, who is Dr. Marissa Pei? And it came up with this, wow. And it's not AI that did this. I did this.
Yeah.
What am I putting out there? I've never put out a post that slams people because I choose not to. I'd rather put out what people are doing well. That's my choice. You can do that. What would our world be like if every time we open our mouth, we followed the rule? Is it true? Number one. Is it kind? Number two. And most important, is it necessary?
This is necessary. Yeah.
We have leaders all over who think that everybody has a right to my opinion. That's bullshit hockey. You don't have to say everything that's on your mind. You don't have to speak and be brutally honest. No one has the right to be brutally honest. You don't have to be honest. You don't have to be brutal. And it's amazing to me. I want to bring back that expression, two of them. One was, if you can't say anything nice, don't say it at all.
Don't say that.
Right? Right? And that's why I start every show with gratitude sandwich. We have breakfast. We take a bite of my gratitude sandwich. Top of the bun is first thing in the morning. Plug your phone somewhere else and just look around you and see if you can't find something to be grateful for. A beautiful bed. This morning, I'm grateful for toilet paper, right? You know what I did first? I'm grateful for toothpaste. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for the view. I'm grateful for windows. I'm grateful. There's so much to be grateful for. And if you start that way instead of this, right? And you end the day with affirming, what do I like about myself?
I love that. Yeah.
Instead of, oh, I didn't get that done.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that right. Oh, I shouldn't have said this. How dare they say that to me? You're not going to get a good night's sleep. I guarantee you. And if you take things to help you sleep, there's nothing you can take that doesn't have a main effect. It's not a side effect. Whatever you put in your body will have a main effect. All those things that you shake your head at in the commercials on the side effects, those are not side effects. Those are main effects.
Yeah.
And you're still going to choose to take it? Come on, folks.
Yeah.
Try a bite of my gratitude sandwich first before you go reach for something outside of yourself to make you feel better. You have the power to love yourself and make yourself feel better. You have the power, if you choose to accept, to soothe yourself out of piss-offedness, to soothe yourself. So the other on my playlist is called PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. And that will challenge you on BS belief systems that you grew up with. Do you really want to be in a rat race? Last time I heard, they're not fun to race with. Do you really want to be dog eat dog? I don't want to eat dog. Do you really want to step on people climbing the ladder? No, I don't want to. You don't have to. Do you really want to argue about whether we should be socialist or capitalist or where we should help people in our backyard or across the ocean? Why can't we help both? Why can't we agree to disagree again?
Yeah.
Why can't we put the kind back in humankind? Why can't we? There's more than enough food and water in the world right now so that there are no starving children, that there are no, dirty wells. We have that ability. What is keeping us? This feeling of lack and limitation, that if you have something, then I can't have it. And that again,
there's plenty to go around for each one. Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty. And my best example is breath. When I take a breath in through the nose and release, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. That's my 3-breath technology. First breath, breathing in, activating the physical. Guess what? When I take a breath, did I take your breath? No. When you breathe, do you take my breath?
Yeah.
No. So there's more than enough to go around.
Yes.
And if we can all collectively adopt this BS, this belief system, we'll have world peace. That's why I say in every show, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
Yeah.
Inner peace is the ticket, folks.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Dr. Marissa, I would like to talk about your book a little bit. It's 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. If you could choose only one of the 8 ways to live by for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Out of loneliness into hope. That's the first chapter. Every single chapter has exercises for you to do. But the fundamental thing is people have this BS. Whether you've had childhood trauma or not, somewhere around 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age, we begin to have this comparison going. I'm not as smart as them. I'm not as pretty as them. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I am alone. I live and nobody really cares. Nobody is going to take care of me. They should have taken care of me. They should have been nicer. Why am I? Wow, wow, wow. That why am I ugly? I was told I was ugly, fat, and clumsy, by well-meaning parents who was more mean than well. She did the best that she could because she grew up with a mom that told her she should have been aborted. So this pattern of looking at ourselves as not enough, right? Which is the loneliness, that feeling of I'm not good enough. That's loneliness, sitting on your own on a desert island. It's also fueled by anger, right? How dare you do this to me? I'm going to go take my toys and go on a desert island and I can live. I don't need anybody, right? I don't need anybody. You don't know who I am. I don't need you. That sentiment, that BS belief system is keeping you from claiming your birthright to happiness. You'll never be alone because you are one of a kind, wonderful, ensconced in this power, this energy, this source. Some people call it God. Some people call it love. Some people call it a Krishna. Some people, whatever you want to call it, we are a full expression of this energy called life that we get to fully express and unfold and expand into if we choose to quit being sorry for ourselves
If
as
we
a
choose to,
victim of bad things that happen to everyone.
Everyone, yeah. And everybody's lesson is different. Everybody's question paper is different. We can't compare our journey with anybody else's journey. We cannot compare apple with oranges. It's like, it would be so silly to do that. So why do we do that with ourselves, like with our peers? Like, okay, I could be better or he could be better. And then I think this is the root of a lot of unhappiness in the world, where comparison culture.
Yeah. But again, you're blaming others, right? We blame society. We blame our parents. We blame our teachers. We blame hello, the buck stops right over here.
Yes.
Who is responsible for my happiness? Am I doing everything I can for my own self-esteem and happiness? That was the topic on Mental Health Matters Mondays. That's my series every Monday, is I talk about practical ways with which to be happier and work on our own behalf for our happiness. So I want more self-esteem. Okay, what are you doing to give yourself esteem? When you say, I'm not going to eat things that are not healthy for my body anymore. And then you put down a Krispy Kreme donut after 10 days of having grapefruit and white breast tasteless chicken, right? So you didn't keep your word. I'm not saying that you broke your word. I'm saying that you have unrealistic expectations of yourself as a human being. I don't make promises I can't keep. So I'll say, 80% of the time I'm going to eat healthy. And when I don't, it's okay. 80% of the time I'm going to move my body because it feels better when I do. But sometimes I want to get up and my bathing suit says, girl, you better go down and do some laps. And my sweatpants say, honey, you can just stay in bed. And I'll listen to my sweatpants 20% of the time. Right? I know that there's certain things that I have to do for my business. I have 8 jobs that I don't like to do. Most I like to do, but there's times when I have to put things together that I don't like doing. So what do? I say, sweetheart, if you finish this, you get to play Candy Crush. Right? I get to go play Mahjong. I get to do things that are not productive, but it's okay. I am in control of my happiness. No one is going to make that choice for me. But I got to quit complaining about other people. I have a fast called the 21-day fast from complaining.
Wow.
And I invite you all to join it. Easy. You give me $21 for my nonprofit, 8 Ways to Happiness, that helps kids, teens, and adults who have temporarily forgotten how to claim their birthright to happiness. And if 21 days, you can do 21 consecutive days without one complaint, I will double your money. I will give
Wow.
you $42 back. Now, it's not about the money. It's a good life habit
Yeah.
to know how you are keeping yourself from being happy.
Yeah. So
The
laugh
buck
a
stopped right
lot.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like laugh a lot. You say that you do comedy, like you have used comedy and storytelling as tools for healing. Laughter is such a powerful medicine. How would you like to inspire us on laughter?
People think that they stop laughing because they're aging or they're
Mm.
growing old.
Yeah.
But you actually grow old
Because you stop.
because you have stopped laughing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Children, on average, laugh 400 times a day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Adults, on the other hand, laugh on average 40 times a day. And I will go out on a limb and say it's half that now because of COVID. People have had that isolation habit out of COVID and complaining habit out of COVID and streaming shows till 3 a.m. so they don't get a good night's sleep habit. That's doing it to yourself. Do you make your bed? It feels good when you do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? When you eat healthy, it feels good.
Yeah.
If you exercise afterwards, it feels good, right?
Yes.
If you apologize and have a moment of bonding with an individual, that's intimacy, that makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
When you put your
When you
ego
have a
aside. Yeah.
belly laugh,
Yeah.
doesn't that make you feel? I call laughter cardio for your soul. Right? Ralph Waldo Emerson is my definition of success. I've stolen his definition of success, which is to laugh often and much.
Yeah.
I love it's my favorite sound in the world, in life, is laughing. I love laughing. I love laughing, and comedy is unfortunately more the dark side, right, of laughter. It's making fun of people. And there's a lot of comedians who are not happy about that. They feel like they're right to be angry and that dark humor. And I get in trouble all the time because I want the humor that we used to have come back. So even though he was a horrible man in his decisions on what he did to women, I have to credit Bill Cosby for having humor that was so clean and funny about life. That's what I want back in comedy. We don't have to swear, even though I like swearing when I'm on stage as a comedian, because on my show, I'm FCC violations, $20,000 a bad word. So I can't do it on the air, but I can do it on stage. But there's so much good to laugh about. There's so much of life that is naturally funny.
Yeah, yeah. It makes you so much lighter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dr. Marissa, what do you tell people who take life too seriously?
2 words. Stop it. People who come to me and say, well, I'm a worry wart or I'm Eeyore. That's just the way I'm a cynic. I'm a realist. I have to look at things. Can't get too happy. My father used to say, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I understand he grew up in a very rich family in China. He's one of the Peis. The famous architect I.M. Pei is his cousin. Their family had a lot of money and it was taken away first by the Japanese, given back, and then taken away by the communists. So that chiseled him into I can't be fully happy because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And a lot of people are that way. And my message to you is that's a choice. You can choose to live the rest of your life like that, but how happy are you?
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a good laugh? When was the last time you got that warm feeling that comes from happiness?
Yeah.
It's your choice, boo. You choose.
Happiness is a choice, certainly. It's nothing
Always.
like external. It's all about your internal state and how happy you can be with yourself, with the other people around, or you can be as unhappy as you want to be with other people and with yourself. So it's definitely a choice. Dr. Marisa, how do you want people to remember you?
My legacy is that pain in life is mandatory, suffering is optional, and you can choose happiness no matter
What?
what.
Yeah.
And people think that have a charmed life. When I came out with the book and they read really what my upbringing was, they were shocked. And at the same time, I just found out probably the worst news that I could ever have, which was the two things that I love the most in life are flying, never
Mm-hmm.
gets old. I love that feeling, and racing sailboats. I've done that for 34 years. And 2 days before I was about to go back on world tour in
Mm.
uh, in July,
Wow.
Canada, Africa, Ireland, Hawaii, Shanghai, Taiwan. I was not supposed to be back here.
Mm.
Sold everything, gave up my place. And 2 days before I took that flight that I couldn't take anymore, they found two DVT blood clots in my leg.
Okay.
And I can no longer fly without risk because I had DVTs in 1996. I'm on blood thinner for life, and I can't race sailboats because it's too dangerous. I can't fly because it's too dangerous. That was not fun. That is pain in life. It was mandatory.
Yeah.
I allowed myself to grieve. That's always part of the process. You have to deal with things, but you don't have to over deal with them. So most people either say, it's in the past, I can't change it, I'm not going to deal with it. What you don't deal with will come back and deal with you.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other extreme is, I'm
And I
going to
love
go
that.
in
Yeah.
therapy for 10 years and cry every single week, remembering all the wrong, remembering all the things that shouldn't have happened. That doesn't help either. We come to the middle. That's why I'm all about balance, right? And we deal with it for one last time. You go into that black hole that doesn't look like there's a bottom to it.
Mhm.
You think you're going to be Humpty Dumpty and never be put together, but you go in that hole. I hold your hand. If you get it, use the book as the guide. You go to the bottom, you find out there is a bottom. And at the very bottom, there's a beautiful seed. That's you. So you
Mm.
shovel out all of that pain from the past. And once you treat it, you do that little treatment of forgiveness, right? You choose forgiveness. You now have some fertilizer that you put back in to
Yeah.
grow that seed, to grow you into the magnificent, one of a kind, wonderful that we all are.
Yeah. This is beautiful.
Mhm.
And if there's one thing you would tell the next generation of women, especially those chasing perfection, what would it be?
Perfectionism is a dis-ease
Yeah.
with life. So if you want ease in your life, you cannot be a perfectionist because you'll never be happy.
Yeah.
Because the song of a perfectionist is I'll be happy when. And darling, you are one of a kind, wonderful, especially women. I have a very, very dear soft spot for colorful women. Women of color, their cultural upbringing, their family upbringing, their societal upbringing has taught them a BS, a belief system that is not true, that we should not be speaking, that we should not be seen, that we should not be heard. These are shoulds that use them as fertilizer, not in an angry way, I'll show you,
Yeah.
but just as you know what? I'll take little steps, right? I'm not going to go right out and embarrass myself, but in my spare time, what is it that I like to do? Everybody has a book in it. May not be a best-selling book, may not a book that, makes it on a New York Times bestseller list, but that's okay. Your story is important. What do you have as a direct result of what you went through that people can be helped by?
Yeah.
You don't spend your life helping them, by the way. I will tell all my listeners and watchers, your job in life is not to help other people. Now,
Yeah.
that is something that is like, what, Dr. Marissa? What are you saying? We're taught we have to be, sacrifice and, be not selfish. Bullshitaki. Your number one job in life is to have fun,
Yeah.
be happy, make yourself happy. Why? Because in having that, you will attract inspired thought, inspired action for ways in which you will help people. But
Yeah.
if you sacrifice yourself and put that oxygen mask on every single person in the world, you're exhausted. Are you happy? No. How long can you do that? Not long.
Yeah.
So the ticket is, I want to help myself be happy. And when
Yeah.
I do what I want to do and do it well and love what I'm doing, I am reaching more people than I could. 4.1 million impressions. Hello. Did I even know that? Is that why I'm doing it? Am
Yeah.
I doing this Happy 88 mission to help you? Not primarily. I'm doing it because it makes me happy.
Makes you happy. Yeah, yeah. And when we are happy, then we will give that happiness to other people. If we are
Can't help
miserable,
it.
then we will just spread it out everywhere, and then people would
That's
be
the law
miserable
of
around us.
attraction.
Yeah,
Yeah. Abraham Hicks,
yeah,
Esther, and Jerry did a beautiful job with this whole message that doesn't cost anything. It's not, you're not buying anything. We're just buying ourselves.
yeah,
We are understanding that we really are the source of
yeah.
our happiness.
Yeah. And I really loved what you said that it's not our job to make people, help people, sacrifice ourselves to make people comfortable. Our only job is to make ourselves happy. And if we just focus on that, everybody will be helped by themselves.
If they want to be,
Yeah, if they want to be.
I don't give advice unless I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So how much are you paying me for this? No.
Dr.
I'm breaking my own rule.
Yeah. How can people connect with you and how can we learn more from you?
First and foremost, just go to my YouTube channel. If you use Google at all, that's my assistant, by the way, and you just put in Asian Oprah on social, Asian Oprah on YouTube, it'll pop up. You free subscribe. That's it. Right. If you want to do there's, $1.99 or $2.99. If you want to work with me, go to drmarissa.life or Asian Oprah online. I'm coming up with an online program on personal mastery that's in the works this year. If you want to be the first ones to get that, contact me there. Tune in to me every weekday morning. It's free, 9 a.m. Pacific time. You get to chat with me. I've great different hosts and series co-hosts. And then Instagram, Doc Balance, Dr. Marissa everywhere else, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, but don't tell my kids. So yeah, that's everywhere. You can contact me everywhere.
Sure. One last question I have for you, Dr. Marissa. If you had to finish this sentence, the title of my life movie is, what would that be and what message would you want the world to take from it?
Don't die wondering.
Yeah.
That's it.
And what message would you like the world to take from it? Don't die wondering?
No regrets for the past.
Yeah.
Don't die wondering. I am actually working on a screenplay that's called Life by 1,000 Cuts. So every single unpleasant thing that happens to you, if you can see it as that irritating piece of sand in an oyster shell, that's how pearls are made. And I love pearls, right? How is a pearl made? It isn't by, oh, let me give you a pearl and put in your shell. No, a pearl is created through every time that annoying grain of sand pokes into the flesh. The oyster generates salve, right?
Yeah.
Into that, and it over and over and over and over again. That's what the role of pain is. A chicken, if you break the shell of a chick coming out of its egg, it will die.
Yeah.
Why does a chick peck its way and stretch and move? Why is that important? Its own poop is noxious gas. So at some point, that chick knows it has to peck its way out or it's going to die from its own noxious gas.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pain in life is mandatory. Use your pain. Use your pain to get into the power. Once you get into the power, you become like Thor and you're an attraction for everything you've ever wanted in your life. But you gotta start the process by going through the pain and popping out.
Yeah, be brave enough to get into the pain and come out stronger.
Come work with me. I'm not the only way. There's so many great people coaching, so many great ways to work through this stuff, professionally, unprofessionally, whatever it takes, whatever you want. That's why we have variety in life. I don't have the only way, right? No one has the only way. If someone says, I have the answer, which is most ads, it's not true. Whoever you resonate with, that's it. I just want you to be happy. However you get there is good with me.
Thank you, Dr. Marissa. It was a beautiful conversation.
Thank you.
Every great story leaves a spark, and Dr. Marissa's leaves a glow. She reminds us that happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you decide on purpose. It's leadership from the inside out. Because the world does not need more noise, it needs more light. And the people who change it most are the ones who choose joy even when it's hardest. If you like this conversation, share it with someone whose happiness matters to you. And don't forget to subscribe this show if you haven't already. This is Hina Siddiqui, and you have been listening to the Corporate Life Podcast. Remember, every life is a movie and you are the star of yours. I'll see you next week.